Dropbox folder.
Oh, sorry.
As soon as this loads, I'm out of your answer, please.
No, isn't that?
Carl? It appears that we're taking another gamble on this, and I would draw our attention to the next to the last paragraph of the letter from Freina Newhoff. The next to last paragraph says this: the city staff will need to provide information as needed for the application and will be responsible for updating the 6-year capital improvement plan. Furthermore, City Commission will need to adopt the 6-year capital improvement plan, including the proposed project, and a resolution committing matching funds minimum of 10%. So we're not just getting a grant, we have to commit to providing a 10% matching fund. And it says in the previous paragraph, grant request must be at least $500,000 and cannot exceed $2 million. 10% is, we are guaranteeing at the very, very minimum that we would commit matching funds of $50,000. Where we don't even have, I have not seen a proposed project list or what it would do, or I haven't even found how much they plan to make the application for. I just think we're rolling the dice again. And by doing so, committing ourselves to at least $50,000 in matching funds.
I can say that the capital improvement plan, I have working on, and I have finished it. It is basically, it was updated from last year, and I did change some of the wording around after speaking with Jason Walshler from Freina Newhoff and his recommendations for it. But I will say that, and I'm sure Jamie can speak on it, that it is an issue. Would you like to speak on how the Lincoln Street?
Sure. The sewers that, as far as mains that are along Lincoln from the alley at Main Street, between Main Street and Day Street, there are not necessarily mains there. They're like a 2-inch to 4-inch sewer lines that have no manholes, no access whatsoever. So anytime there's ever a problem along that whole stretch all the way to the dead end, you have to dig up the lines, and it's becoming a problem. Some of the lines are like old, it's like paper, tar lines. We've had a lot of issues with those recently. Also, aside from the sewer, the sidewalks, the whole length of Lincoln are either not there that used to be there, or they're in disrepair that need to be redone. That would be part of those monies as well, and street repair, I think would be, once they've torn up the street to do the sewer, it would be resurfaced as well. So it kind of gets 3 things done at one time.
Does our match come out of the street fund and the water and sewer fund, not out of the general fund?
Yes.
So it's not part of it, it's going to be a general fund expense.
No, it would come out of the local street fund.
Is it fund,
Is it which street is it? Because I know one fund is much larger than the other fund.
It's a local street, which is the lesser, but it was put into the capital plan that you guys had approved for the 2016-17 fiscal year.
How much was that, how much was in the plan that was approved?
Well, the plan just talks about the cost of the
Total
actual
cost.
plan, total cost of the plan.
So the total cost is in there, now we're asking for a grant to cover part of it?
Yeah, because what you have to do is you have to submit with your application a capital improvement plan, which is
So capital
updated
improvement
from
plan
last
is
year that
just
was
the
adopted.
Total cost.
Yeah, and then it breaks it down and says exactly what needs to happen and why, the scope of the project and the results that you were hoping to receive.
So what is our total project cost and how much are they trying to request, or would they be trying to request by submitting this grant application?
It is the, just one second, I can pull this number up. With the matching funds, with the resolution, because I have the, which I stated, the CIP finished. For a second. Hold on. Thanks. And I know that in the capital improvement plan, it's between 1.3 and 1.5 million dollars.
Well, when it talks about that 10%, it says that the local governing unit, the UGLG, acronym that they use, committed cash match must be equal to at least 10% of the total project cost, not 10% of the CDBG, which is, I think is the grant amount. And so it's not 10% of the grant that they would be seeking, it's 10% of the total project cost that we would have to match. And then is that all in 1 year? Is that, how does?
Is there another meeting before this is due?
Yes, we'll have one on the 28th. I can, if you want, we
Can
can.
we get him?
The reason why we were trying to get it done today is so that way they can, because by the 7th, I mean, you're giving them 1 week to do everything that they need to do. And they do apologize that it is taking them this long, but part of it was because they were waiting on questions from the MEDC to see if it is something that, you know, we actually could do, because there was big changes is that they want the plans and all of that up front. And that when the cost up front, you can't recoup, you know, you don't get reimbursed for it. So that's why they were trying to see the complete plans. If they had to be completed before. And so they were trying to do as minimal as possible.
Right now, there's plenty in the budget to do the whole program, in the water, sewer, and street budget, to do the whole thing. Would you say that in a second ago?
It is in the capital improvement plan. It was not budgeted for this year. It was in the CIP, it was,
Well, the plan to do it, and there's no funding for that plan yet.
right.
Okay, I thought you were saying.
But it can be budgeted, because I haven't, you know, I haven't done the budget yet, and you guys haven't approved it. So that is something that we can put into the budget.
I guess we'd probably just like to see the numbers, like,
Okay.
what is the project gonna cost? what would our match be?
Yep.
How much money are they seeking?
What do the funds have?
Yeah,
That's no problem. We can table it and I can get those answers for you and we can discuss it on the 28th, which just, it puts them in a bind and I don't know if it would decrease our chances of getting it because you're putting such constraints.
If I may, I think the last time we applied, because they wanted a complete plan, something engineered out, the whole process, we actually kind of put together a few things that we thought we could get done and presented it that way, and I don't think they liked that. I think they wanted something, the other people who got the grants had significant plans engineered out, completed, ready to start. So that's what he's looking for right now.
do we have those plans all ready to go?
I believe that they have. Well, that's
They are-
probably-
In the process, because I can tell you, have already started doing this and working on this for us because of the time constraints. So they've already started doing a little bit of work, which, not charging, I mean, they're just in good faith to make sure that we are most eligible for it as we can be.
Well, I thought it was in that project that you were talking about. Everything was planned in there.
It was in the capital improvement plan that the commission approved and adopted last year.
But where'd the price come from? If it wasn't done out, so we don't know what the total price is then.
We saw a presentation last year about it, but I don't, we don't know the numbers. I mean, like, I.
So it's all finished then? What are they doing?
Well, they have to I mean, the requirements are different in the application, so you have to go in and change, update the information to, instead of saying 2016, 2017, and then the engineering and all of that is different, that they will do, which increases our chances of getting it. As Jamie stated, we didn't have that last year, and the ones that were awarded did. And so that makes us all believe that that was one of the reasons why we didn't receive it.
So that would be another thing to know then before making our decision, if everything really is ready to go, so that we can truly compete with those other municipalities that have all their ducks in a row.
He said that everything would be done by the 7th.
I don't think any of us are saying that it wouldn't potentially be good, but I don't think that we can say that we're doing our job properly if we don't have all the information in front of us to make the best decision for our city.
This is waiting table until the 20th.
And we adjourn this discussion until next meeting. Adjourn table.
What did you say?
I move we put the matter off till next meeting.
Table
Support.
Not actually table, but it's good enough. We don't talk about, we quit doing it now and talk about it next meeting.
Do we have a support?
Krista did.
All those in favor say aye. All opposed? Motion carried, it's tabled. Now we gotta go back up.
Did you? No,
Councilmember.
you added the city commission appointment.
I thought we didn't do the city commissioner? No.
That's now.
Okay.
We added to the agenda, but you were gonna tell us then.
What?
See, we added to the agenda so you could tell us now.
Okay. I want to appoint Jennifer Blum. She's ran a couple of times and wanted to get on. She lives here in town, and I think she'd do a real good job. And there's no conflict with her brother working here. It would be unconstitutional to try to stop somebody from running for office just because their relative works for the city or anybody else. So, any discussion? We need a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve.
Have support?
Support.
Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
What was the count?
4-1,
4-1.
Yoder declining.
Motion carried. Now where do we go? You guys
The
move
public
to
comments.
public comments?
Yep.
Okay. Do we have any public comments?
I think I do. I have a question for the city manager. Why didn't you have those numbers ready for the board if there was such a rush on it for this week?
Because there is such a rush on it, and it was to say, here, get this to them so they have the information, and I will have those numbers. We're in the process of working on it.
I mean, it seems like it would be a priority.
It is a priority, but I wanted to get the information that I was given late Tuesday night to them so they could have it.
And also on your contract, you were community liaison, part-time, and we had a full-time city manager, and now we had a part-time city manager. Okay. And then you hired an office assistant to make up for that difference.
Yes.
Am I correct?
The office assistant is, basically the position is there to fill for when the clerk is either training, vacation days, sick days, personal days. That's why, and to help, assist with the clerk, and if any department heads need anything.
So now we have a full-time city manager, part-time office assistant, and a full-time clerk. And before we were operating with a part-time city manager, part-time community liaison, and a full-time clerk. Okay, so I'm sure that's good.
Any other comments? We need to look at the minutes of the meeting of February 28th. Is there any corrections?
There was something, let me find it. It's not going. Something in one of my motions that sounded funny. Motion was made by Basem, supported by Seaman to endorsement, the Taste of Montcalm endorsement. So, I think we endorsed the Taste of Montcalm Festival. And Ray Holloway's name is Holl,
Thank you.
O-W-A-Y.
Any other corrections? Motion to accept the minutes of February the 28th as corrected. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. Now we get down to the Department of Public Works report. We have in the packet, we have the report. Is there any questions you'd like to ask the director?
ask you, they just want to compliment you and the staff for doing what you're doing. Thank you. Streets are clean, sidewalks are clean, the trash is picked,
Appreciate
brush is picked up. Flower beds are taken care of.
Need a motion to, accept? Oh, no, we don't need a motion on that. Any comment from us? City manager's report.
Okay, I've signed the contract and has been sent to BSNA Software to start the process of obtaining the new software. The software is not going to be installed and the staff and myself will not be trained until September, October. With that said, only the first installment payment is due in this fiscal year, so I can budget the other 2 installments into next year's budget, which I thought was actually worked out kind of nice. And I also would like to thank the commission on behalf of myself and the DPW director for allowing us to attend the Leadership Montcalm. On March 10th, we had attended our monthly meeting. We had toured the Montcalm County Jail, the prison in Carson City, and received a really good, thorough explanation as to the judicial system in Montcalm County. It was very informative, and I know Jamie and I myself are very thankful to you guys for doing that. And I spoke with Charles, which is the technician with Cass Air, and he informed me that the phones should be delivered next week and could possibly be installed next week or the week after. They have been wonderful in assisting us with all the issues, and so we are very excited for the new phone systems to be installed. On March 21st and 22nd, I'll be attending the Michigan Municipal League Capital Conference in Lansing. The workshop I signed up for is How Does Your Community Stack Up? Hands-on help with RAC evaluation and MGC challenge. I'm looking forward to networking with city, village, and township managers, also with the opportunity to speak with Michigan legislatures. You know about the FOIA policy, because we've already covered that. And I also wanted to know, I'm currently working on this year's budget and capital improvements plan, and I wanted to know if there was anything that the commission would like to see happen. I'm very interested to hear your guys' ideas, if there's anything that you guys would like to see happen. And I would also like to report that the park project has not been just totally gotten rid of. I've had several phone calls and residents that have stopped in and said that they are very upset to see that the park project has died. And I wanted to let everybody know that it has not died. We are just scaling it down to a feasible price. So that's it.
I have a question. I guess I was a little shocked that BSNA couldn't come in sooner, because that was one of the biggest reasons for making the change. Because the other company couldn't come in until March 30th, which is getting close now. And so for all the money that, you know, this is costing us, I guess that's a disappointing factor. And so then, secondly, are we able to get by until September, October with the old software, and are we gonna have them come in still on March 30th and train in the meanwhile?
No, Lori is absolutely fantastic, and I think we actually need to commend her on how well she is doing, and calling technical support and getting the training and having them give her files to print off so she can teach herself in the little bit of knowledge that I have on the programs myself. She is doing fantastic. I actually commend her immensely. She is a wonderful asset to the city.
Maybe we don't need the new program.
Not if we ain't gonna be able to use it for, till next year.
We definitely do, because the support is
But when are we gonna be able to use it?
in September, October. Once it's installed and trained, we're good to go.
Is our,
I shouldn't kid about things, I'm sorry.
does our operating system handle it?
Yes, yes. Yep, we did all the tests, and it tests fine. Their computer's fine.
Any other questions questions for the city manager?
And moreover, and the reason why that it is taking so long is because it is in such high demand. Because it is,
Didn't they tell you they'd be here in a couple weeks, instead of?
no, that was the phones.
Oh, okay.
That was the phones that they said it'd be a couple weeks on.
You know, maybe they need more people to, you know, if it's in such high demand and they're charging so much for it, then, I mean, that's a disappointment.
Yes.
We were disappointed as well.
Yeah, I'm sure. And over the capital improvement plan, you know, I think it is important that we, stay active on making plans for the park. And just off the top of my head, as I'm sitting here thinking about that, I remember there being a discussion at one point about a lot back here somewhere that was sold in the city for like $1 or something like that, that we were talking about possibly doing like a community garden. Is this
It's
something?
not back here. We have a lot outside of town. I don't know my directions, but it's by, 66, like this, it's by the stoplight down where the community church was going to build.
That's not what, no.
It's on the
There's a lot over here.
West corner, Lincoln,
Yeah.
The information I have is that the city did not get that lot,
Oh.
and it was consequently sold to another individual who has gone delinquent on taxes, so it'll probably come up again, but the city did not obtain that
Yeah,
lot.
I was just about to say that we did not obtain that lot.
Well, I think that would be a neat idea if it ever materializes.
That's also something that we could incorporate into the property that we have leased for the park. I mean, that's something that we could, you know, factor into that project as well. But I think that is a great thing as well. Anyone else? They're going to-
Off the top of my head, one of my listies last week, there was some broker up in Paris, wait, somebody right by on that.
What was that?
When we listed the last week after sale, some broker, right? Somebody will be peddling and says, waiting, somebody right by and say, oh, I want that lot.
I was going to address that at the next meeting, that I think that that is something that we should look into because they're just sitting there.
Any other questions? We're back to public comments. Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to comment on the lot here that we have with the old salt shed and the lot that Jane was talking about. There was talk at one time to expand the parking lot for the city, and I think it would be a great thing to do. But still, to add more parking.
I have a comment too, I guess, because I don't know where else to bring it up, but I had that same question that Naomi had, because when we advertised and hired Tiffany, it was with the understanding that you were going to be full-time until
Apologize for
we
the.
hired a city manager. And we've hired. And so I guess I don't understand what's happening with that position now.
We only hired a part-time city manager,
That's all we ever had before though.
that's what we, and they had help, right?
She was the help.
Now she,
She's still part-time, city
but she's
manager.
holding two positions,
And
right?
she- Well, the other half should,
Liaison and city manager.
correct.
She's not holding liaison or city manager, right?
She is though.
But the extra help,
That's a whole new position.
well, that's what you're talking.
No, I'm saying I don't understand why we have an extra position.
Come in here and do the job. You can come in here and watch what they do and how much help they need, truthfully.
I understand, I really truthfully do. I'm just asking for, I don't need to be yelled at, I'm just asking for what.
I'm not, because you're not thinking. I don't want, it's not your lot.
John,
this is we shouldn't be hogging each other. I've gotta go, sorry. We should
Thank
talk.
you, Chuck. Yeah, I'm just asking what the update is on that, that's all I'm asking, because
Yes.
that's what we were told in the beginning, that's all I want.
Yes, the reason why is that, let's say that Lori needed to take a personal day, and you guys have already paid for me to go to the Capitol Conference and for a hotel because it's 2 days. And if Lori can't be here, then I would be the only one, and you guys would have to forfeit that money, or I would have to cancel meeting, you know, that's why that position is there. Plus, she is helping out immensely with Lori and changing the filing and making sure that everything is right. John is correct, there is a lot of business that goes on that is very helpful
And
to our clerk. And Lori can speak on how helpful it is for her position. And she has also helped and assisted Jamie with uploading files onto his tablet and that for the DPW.
And Avis.
And Avis.
She folded all of the letters for Avis because Avis
I mean, she
doesn't
There
have
is-
enough time.
I'm
There
not
is a need
discounting
within
any of
the
that
city.
At all whatsoever, I just,
Mhm. I felt as a city manager that that position needed to exist, and I stand behind it 100%, that there is a need for that position.
I think probably that we need to discuss that as a council. And I'm not saying that it's not a need, but I think it has to be through a proper channel, that's because, is it budgeted? I mean, there's more than just, we're gonna hire someone and keep them there, I think we have to work through all of that. What are the hours, I mean, I just think there needs to be a discussion, is all I'm saying.
She's working 24 hours a week, and if I feel that there needs to be another day, then it would be 30, but that's not that often that would happen. But I can say that at this point, I would be very disappointed if you guys, and that's just my own personal, and I'm sure Lori would say the same, that I feel that it would be doing a disservice to the residents by not having, and my biggest concern is that there would be a personal day that the city has paid for a conference for me to attend, and now I can't attend the conference, and you're not gonna receive the money back, you're not gonna get a refund. So that's why.
I'm not.
No, I know, I'm just
wanna see
explaining to
numbers,
you.
that's
Yeah.
all. Because there used to be a position, my mom held the position,
Mhm.
and the city commission felt that Janet didn't need help, and they eliminated the position. So that's all I'm saying, there just needs to be a discussion, and we just need to look at the numbers.
That's fine.
Because, we don't want to end up in the same boat that the county is in,
Yeah.
blowing through our whole general fund and then going, well, where'd that go?
And
I think it'll all be very clear soon though, because we'll have that new budget to look at.
Yeah.
And like, if there's a place to keep her, then, it'll speak. And so I think that budget will help a lot of the gray areas that we have right now in this whole transition.
And also too, there is money in this year's current budget because the previous city manager had made that budget off of increasing my hours to 30 hours, which had never happened. And so there is there will be a surplus in that line item on the budget for this year. So we're not going over budget for this year.
It's just the checks and balances, that's all.
Yep.
Motion to adjourn.
So
Support.
All those in favor of the motion?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carried.